Madam President, my name is Francis Muthaura. I was born in Mariene, Central Meru District of Kenya. I'm currently Permanent Secretary, Head of Public Service, and Secretary to the Cabinet in the Office of the President of Kenya.
My names are Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I was born on the 26th of October, 1961 in Nairobi, Kenya. I am currently, courtesy of the people of Gatundu South, their Member of Parliament, and courtesy of the duly elected President of Kenya, I am a Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Finance.
My names are Mohammed Hussein Ali. I was born on the 16th of February, 1956 in Eldoret, Kenya. Currently, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Postal Corporation of Kenya.
Francis Kirimi Muthaura, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and Mohammed Hussein Ali voluntarily arrived in the Netherlands on summonses to appear before the three judges of the Pretrial Chamber 2 of the International Criminal Court. Judge Katarina Trandafilova, presiding judge, Judge Hans-Peter Kaul, and Judge Kuno Terfusser. On Friday, 8th of April 2011, Pretrial Chamber 2 held initial appearance proceedings in the second case in the Kenya situation, at the seat of the court in The Hague. During the hearing, in the presence of the prosecutor, the suspects assisted by their defense teams, and the registrar of the court, the judges verified the identity of the suspects and ensured that they were clearly informed of the crimes which they are alleged to have committed and of their rights under the Rome Statute.
I would ask now the court officer to please read the counts for which the chamber decided with majority to summon Mr. Muthaura, Mr. Kenyatta, and Mr. Ali. Please, court officer, proceed with the counts and the mode of individual criminal responsibility of each of the suspects present today.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Francis Kirimi Muthaura. There are reasonable grounds to believe that Francis Kirimi Muthaura is criminally responsible as indirect co-perpetrator under Article 25(3)(a) of the statute for the following acts constituting crimes against humanity committed from, on or about 24th of January 2008 until the 31st of January 2008. Mr. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There are reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is criminally responsible as indirect co-perpetrator under Article 25(3)(a) of the statute for the following acts constituting crimes against humanity committed from, on or about 24th of January 2008 until the 31st of January 2008. Mr. Mohammed Hussein Ali. There are reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Mohammed Hussein Ali is criminally responsible as having contributed to crimes committed by a group of persons within the meaning of Article 25(3)(d) of the statute for the following acts constituting crimes against humanity committed from, on or about the 24th of January 2001 until the 31st of January 2008.
Thank you, court officer. Now the chamber will proceed with the three different items on the agenda of today's hearing. And the first one is to hear from Mr. Muthaura, Mr. Kenyatta, and Mr. Ali whether they have been informed of the crimes which they are alleged to have committed in advance of this hearing. This is something that should have been done before you were to come to this courtroom for today's initial appearance, Mr. Muthaura.
Yes, I was informed, Madam President.
Thank you. The same question I would pose to Mr. Kenyatta.
Yes, I have been informed, but I was informed through some press release from the prosecutor's office, and then subsequently brought and given the charges through official means. But that was the first time I got to hear that I was a suspect before this court.
But still the registrar,
The registrar did eventually after that.
yes,
Yes.
this was the order that the chamber took
Yes.
and assigned the registrar with the task. And as far as the report that I have received today is concerned,
It
you
was
have been
delivered.
informed, and there is a document signed by you, but I wanted to hear from you.
It was delivered.
Thank you, Mr. Kenyatta.
Thank you.
Mr. Ali, the same question. Have you been informed in advance of this meeting, of this hearing?
Yes, I was informed, Your Honor.
You have been informed. Thank you very much.
As she also did yesterday during the initial appearance of Ruto, Koski, and Sang, Presiding Judge Ekaterina Trandafilova stressed the conditions set out in the summonses to appear.
I take the opportunity at this point in time to bring to the attention of Mr. Muthaura, Mr. Kenyatta, and Mr. Ali a concern of the Chamber, which I already raised in yesterday's hearing. It came to the knowledge of the Chamber through following some articles in the Kenyan newspapers that there are movements towards re-triggering the violence in Kenya by way of delivering dangerous speeches. I would like to remind the suspects and note I'm not referring to anyone in particular. This is a general point to be made to all suspects. Such action could be perceived as a breach of one of the conditions clearly set out in the summonses to appear, namely, to continue committing crimes within the jurisdiction of the court. Accordingly, this might prompt the Chamber to replace the summonses to appear with warrants of arrest. However, the judges would not prefer to resort to such a drastic measure and would rather, and we assume the suspects endorse this view, continue carrying out the proceedings smoothly and respecting the liberty of the suspects so that you could appear before us in all the proceedings to follow as free people.
Karim Khan, the defense counsel of Francis Kirimi Muthaura, and Gregory Kiho, the defense counsel of Mohammed Hussein Ali, addressed the judges on this issue as well.
Madam President, perhaps before you do that, with your leave, I have instructions from my client to repeat once again his commitment and willingness to comply vigorously with all the conditions that have been imposed by the bench. Your Honour will note, and I don't want the public who are listening to this in Kenya for a moment to get the impression that there's been any adverse comment spoken by Ambassador Muthaura. Indeed, he's been most diligent not to say a word about these proceedings other than his commitment to cooperate with the court and to comply with all orders of the bench. So, Your Honours, I don't want the public who are listening to these proceedings to think in any way, whilst your comments are general, that there's anything that's been said or done by Ambassador Muthaura that is a cause for concern. And we do reassure you that there is the sincere willingness of the Ambassador to comply with each and every one of the conditions your Honours have imposed, and we will continue to do so.
I want to say at the outset, Your Honours, that it's not helpful when those extrajudicial comments go down to Kenya by the Office of the Prosecutor at various times. So we ask that Your Honour have some discussion during the confirmation hearing about how all the facts and circumstances concerning these three gentlemen can be addressed before this chamber and answered before this chamber in the appropriate fashion. Thank you.
Thank you. This issue will be considered in the decision to be taken by the chamber in due course.
The judges set the date for the beginning of the confirmation of charges hearing for 21st of September 2011. The first status conference in this case will be held on 18th of April. The Chamber requested presence of the prosecutor, defense counsels, and the registrar of the court.